I'm on plenty of sleep. I went to bed early. I had extra coffee. I'm doing fine. And I come out and I
Yeah.
realize I'm like, this audience is a little quieter than I'm used to. And so what I did in that case is you kind of slow down to match the audience's energy, which was very different from what I had experienced most of the time in Florida, which is they are rowdy and oftentimes they are drunk. So it has been, for a lot of time, I've had to raise my energy level of like, no, we can't slow down in the show. We have to be loud, aggressive, talk over people, barrel over hecklers. And that was kind of the one show where I was like, oh, okay, let's do this like a normal show, I guess.
It sounds like you'd be a good act in Scotland. I'm telling you, drunk and rowdy. Yep, you're there.
I tell you, I've heard stories about the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
You'd fit well in there. Trust me, you would
Yeah,
go down a storm. And I love that approach then of like you're not like dwelling on the bad things or you're not focusing on the good things. You're immediately just going, what went right, what went wrong, okay, next one. And I like that. I like that way of looking at like I always say, how do you analyze a performance? How do you make it better? And I like how you're kind of, oh, well, I can't do anything about that. It's happened. Let's go on to the next one, and then you gauge off the audience. That's a really nice approach. But when you're performing, you travel round. You're living in hotel rooms. You're probably eating like a bachelor again. How do you make a hotel room a base? How do because I find a lot of people are great at home, but the second they play away or they perform away or whatever it is, they can't cope with that. They got a
yeah,
pot.
yeah. Well, it's interesting because Renaissance fairs, the day is so long, you don't actually spend that much time at the hotel room. You wake up. I mean, most shows, I'm up at 6:30 or 7 a.m. that morning,
Mhm.
and then I don't get home until 7:30, 8 p.m. So it's a 12-hour day.
That's a
By the time you
shift.
get home, yeah, by the time you get home, you're having dinner and you're going to bed, basically. So my approach is, I mean, I have a kind of a few routines. One of the things is, um, in the morning, no matter what, I try to always not try. I do have a really good breakfast with, you know, bread, cheese, meat. I want something that's going to sit in my stomach for a while that I can keep,
Yep.
that's going to sustain me for at least, 3, 4, 5 hours. Um, During the day, I tend to not eat all that much. It's kind of light stuff. I might have a little, peanut butter jelly sandwich. I might have some cashews. I might have a protein bar or something like that. But it's not anywhere approaching a real meal just because Renaissance fairs are, it's hard to get good food. It's hard to, or I should say, not, it's hard to get consistent, stable food. A lot of these fairs actually do have really good food. But I don't like to buy festival food. I like to bring my own. But also, I just don't like to eat heavy during the day. And then dinner for me is something big. I'm probably going to a restaurant or I'm probably getting fast food on the way home. But I've burned so many calories during the day that I'm not worried if I have a huge, huge meal at the end of the day.
Because I remember seeing that video of you saying like what you would eat in a normal day, and it was like I'm sure I had that in college. Like that constant just like because
Yeah.
is that are you not like how do you have rules about your diet or do you have rules like about your water hydration? Are you just in the
Mhm.
moment and you just drink if you're thirsty, you eat if you're hungry?
It depends on the situation. So usually, I with each festival, because each festival has a slightly different schedule. Um, so my home show, King Richard's, I kind of have a schedule of like, all right, this is when I'm going to have an apple and a protein bar. This is when I'm going to have my peanut butter jelly sandwich, and whatnot.